All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. The School of Dramatic Arts proudly presents How to Succeed in Dramatic Arts. All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. The School of Dramatic Arts proudly presents How to Succeed in Dramatic Arts. Why do I hear myself? Okay. Let's try that again. All right, are we back? Daniel, can you hear me? Okay. You can go ahead, Dan. Are you still on mute?
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. I was on mute. Let's start that over again. Can everybody hear me? Thumbs up. Stella, can you hear me?
Yes.
No, Stella. Okay. All right, let's start over again. So, welcome to the School of Dramatic Arts. We will be going over requirements for the department as well as the university as a whole. The reason we do these, as I said before, is to orient you and kind of get a little better feel as to what the program is, what your programs are, what the university requires. So there will be a lot of information. We will be happy to give you a copy of this in follow-up in a subsequent email and or in person. And if you have any other follow-up questions afterwards, feel free. I will say, as we mentioned in the email, you will receive you will have to complete an advisement session with your advisor independently from this. So make sure you take this info and let's schedule something right away. If it happens to be through email, it'll be fine. It's just something to get you the information so that you can prepare to register on the 14th, which is 2 Mondays from now. Okay. So we'll discuss that a little bit more in a few minutes. Really quick, your cast, myself, Daniel Leyva. I'm an academic advisor for this department and only this department. I've been here for about 5 years. I'm a local kid from Los Angeles, and I advise anyone with the last names A through K. So if you fall in that world, welcome to my world. What else? I don't know. Fun fact, I love to travel. So that's me. Isaac can share a little bit about himself.
Good morning, everyone. I work with the students' last names L through Z. I'm originally from Hawaii, but I've been living in LA for about 5 years and working at SC a little less than that. Fun fact about me, I was recently married in May. I'm a newlywed. On the weekends, you could probably find me playing beach volleyball down at Santa Monica or Marina Del Rey. But now that you know a little bit about us, if we could ask the students to also introduce themselves, where they're from, and maybe a fun fact.
Welcome, Sophia.
Hi. Sorry, I was struggling to get on this.
That's okay. I'll go ahead and call out names. We'll start with Sophia since you just joined us. Go ahead and give us your name, where you're from, and a fun fact.
I'm Sophia. I'm from Seattle, Washington. And a fun fact about me is that I lived in Mozambique in Southern Africa for 6 years.
Wow.
Yes.
Unique. Thank you. Let's do Stella. So name, where you're from, and fun fact. Communication issues, Stella? Okay, we'll come back to Stella. Brittany.
Hi, my name's Brittany Frankie. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and a fun fact about me, I actually got into theater and acting through my speech and bait team at my own school.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. Welcome. Erica, tell us some more. What's your name? Where are you from? Fun fact.
My name is Erica Bautista. I'm from Chicago, and I recently learned how to juggle.
Oh, cool. That's fun.
Very fun.
Are you good at it?
I can do it for a solid 10 seconds, so yes.
Practice makes perfect. Maria, welcome. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, great. My name is Maria Zhang. I was born in Poland, but I grew up in Beijing. I'm half Polish, half Chinese. Fun fact, I have a cat named Maya.
All right. Maya. All right, thank you for sharing. Stella, are we coming back to you? Stella, can you hear us? Okay. Stella, if you can hear me, you may want to log off and log back in. Let's go to Amber. Amber, we're doing some fun facts, so we're introducing ourselves. Go ahead and give us your first name, where you're from, and a fun fact, please.
I'm from Amber. My name is Amber. Got it.
No worries. Go ahead, Amber.
Wait, can you repeat what we had to say again?
Okay, so just your name, where you're from, and a fun fact. You get that? Can you hear me? No? Amber, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, my name is Amber Butler. I'm from Dayton, Ohio. And a fun fact about me is that I can hula hoop for a really long time.
All right. Cool. Well, awesome. Thank you for sharing. You all came on now. We're going to move on. I think Stella popped off. She'll come back in. We'll catch up with her in a bit. We're going to go ahead and continue with the presentation. Essentially, your advisement begins today. Okay, and that means for the next semester and the coming semesters. Now, you are required to meet with your assigned advisor every semester. So before you came on, Amber and Sophia, as you can see on your screen there, we are assigned to a certain caseload. Okay, so if your last name ends with A through K, you'll be assigned to me, and L through Z, you'll be working with Isaac throughout the semesters. You'll meet with your advisor every semester. Make sure you reach out to them and that you schedule an appointment early on so that you can clear your advisement hold, which the university places on your account, just to make sure that you meet with your advisor, have all the classes that you need for the next semester. Okay, you do that, and then a few weeks later, your permit to register date will be released, and then at that point, you can hit submit and register all of your classes. Hopefully by today, you'll understand the system a little bit. You'll get an idea as to what you need to register for when the fall comes. And then so on the 14th, when you register, you can just add those classes to your course bin and hit submit. I think we have someone else joining us here. Okay. Now, has anybody been onto our campus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, if you know where our building is, where that little white building, all the classes that you need what we call the DRC. Stella, welcome back. You do that.
Yep.
We have the DRC is our home away from home, so you'll find our advising suite there. You'll find our assistant deans. You'll find basically that's our hub. So feel free to stop by anytime. Stella, can you hear me? Stella?
I've been able to hear the whole time, but I'm just not sure audio.
Oh.
For some reason on mine, it keeps like repeating
Yeah, that's happening.
from stuff from earlier.
If you have the YouTube window open, you can go ahead and close that.
Oh.
Just keep the Hangout open. I think the repeating is coming from the YouTube broadcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep, that was it.
Yes. Good. Okay. Stella, I want to give you an opportunity if you can tell us your name. Well, we know your name, Stella. Where are you from? And fun fact. There's a slight delay there. Hey, Stella, I'm going to stop you. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude. Can you hear us okay?
I hope you guys can hear me now.
Okay, that's better.
And I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. And fun fact, I play the viola.
Oh, awesome. All right. Well, thank you. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for sharing a little bit about yourselves. We hope to grow that relationship and get to know a little bit more about you, and then, again, you about us. Let's continue on. So we're going to go over 3 acts in general. Most of these pieces we use here at our campus for online on-campus orientations, but most of this information is totally relevant.
I don't know what to do.
Sorry? Okay. I think we're okay. So Act 1. So we'll talk about the university requirements. Then we'll move on to Act 2, which is the dramatic arts and your department. And then we'll move on to the academic advising piece, which will then lead to registration, which will occur for you all on August 14th.
I can hear you guys fine. I'm just not sure if my audio is coming through it.
Yeah,
It's very glitchy for me.
Yeah, Stella, your audio is glitchy. I think if you can hear us, that's the more important thing.
Okay.
Thumbs up. Stella, does that work for you? Okay, I hope so. All right. The USC degree requirements. We'll talk about those. Other student information that's important for you and how to access that. Any transferable items, and then support systems here at the university. Now, the University of Southern California, the degree that you're going to earn, your bachelor's degree, will require a few elements. And the key components include completing 128 units of coursework in order to reach that point where the university then says, okay, you've completed enough units in order to earn your degree. That averages out to about 16 units per semester. So all of you can certainly take 16. Keep in mind you have up to 18 units allotted to you. So you're welcome to enroll into up to 18 units without any sort of extra fees if you'd like. Now, the system will allow you to register to up to 20 units. But keep in mind, anything beyond 18 will cost you more money and more time. So I would say target 18 every semester. You can always drop down to 16 if you needed to, or just keep it at 18. Now, a majority of those 128 units will be your major requirements, and then as well as your general education requirements. You will have some elective opportunities as well. Elective units are those units that you have that you take in any department, right? Isaac likes to describe it as courses that you elect to take. They're not required. They can be in any department, any level, okay? Now, 32 units of those 128 units must be upper division. So it's not in addition to 128. It's a part of 128. Now, don't worry about looking for them. Most of those upper division units are already built into your program or programs. So it's not like you have to go searching for these 32 units. You may have to search for a dozen or so. But a lot of these units are already built into your program, either through your general education courses or your specific theater program. Okay. The pass, no pass, just know that you have the option to change the letter grade to the pass, no pass option. That option requires you to make that switch by the 3rd week. Okay, so the 3rd Friday of every semester, you want to make sure that you've gotten all your classes.
Okay. That good. Coming through.
I'm sorry. Stella, you broke up a little bit. Is there a message board?
There should be a chat function.
Yeah, if you wanted to chat something, you can certainly type it in.
It's glitching. It's okay. I'll
So,
Stella, if you can hear me, what you could do is you could close the Hangout screen and watch the YouTube stream. that might be a little better in terms of bandwidth.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Isaac. Good. That's a good recommendation. And if you have any questions, guys, just jot down. There's a chat option, so you can certainly jot down any messages. Okay. Pass no pass. You have it to use. Most students don't use more than about 6 to 8 units. It's up to you if you want to use that option. Just remember C- or better to gain that passing grade. Now, there are some limitations. You can only use it for one of your general education requirements. So you'll have several to choose from. You can only use it for one of those, so just keep that in mind. And that's one throughout your time here. You can't necessarily use it for every semester. Okay. Welcome, Daphne. We're going to continue on. Okay. You can also use the Pass No Pass for all of your foreign language requirements. So if you have 3 levels to complete in a foreign language, if you're a BA student, you have that element. You can use the Pass No Pass option for all 3 levels. For 1 level, 2 levels, it's up to you. Now, you cannot, however, use Pass No Pass for the writing requirements or major or minor requirements. So keep that in mind. Now, some of you may be considering a minor in cinematic arts, for example. If you're considering that, I would not recommend taking a course in that area with the Pass No Pass. Right? Make sure you take it for a letter grade. Because if in the future you do add that minor, you want to make sure that that class that you took, any class you took in that area prior to declaring the minor, you want to make sure it counts, right? So you want to make sure you take it for a letter grade. Fair enough? Okay, GPA 2.0. We just want to make sure we keep that above the 2.0. Anytime we get close to 2.0 after each semester, the university will get involved. We don't want anybody to be at risk for disqualification. This is another reason why the university requires that you meet with your advisor every semester. So that way we are kind of watching what you're doing, making sure that you're keeping your GPA up, that are there any issues. And if there are, we can get you some support. All right, so I mentioned GEs briefly a minute ago. So you have your general education program, all right? This will be up to approximately 40 units of just general education coursework. It'll start with your alpha letters here on the left-hand side. Your core literacies go from A through F, okay? In addition to that, you have your global perspective courses, which are letter G and H. Now, A through F, you need 1 of each except for letter B and C. You need 2 courses in each of those. Okay, so a total of 8. Multiply that by 4 units each, you get 32 units. Global perspectives, there are two requirements in that, both citizenship in global era and traditions and historical foundations. Both of those could be up to 8 units. So in other words, 4 per class or per GE. However, please note that these courses are also found in letters B and letter C. So we have this double dipping effect that we like to kind of incorporate, and we strongly encourage it. So you will find that some courses under the category, for example, category B, humanistic inquiry, when you're looking at the schedule of classes, some of those courses will have a marker, such as, for example, in GEH, for example, the letter P. You can see on my screen it says marked with the letter P. That letter P tells me that whatever course I find in the list of GEB, if it has that marker in the course number, let's say AMST 101P, that means that that course listed under GEB will also satisfy GEH because it has that marker. Okay. Again, this will become a lot more familiar as we walk through this each semester, so don't worry. The goal behind this is to satisfy 2 different requirements with 1 class. Right? What does that do? That just means that instead of using up those 8 units, you only use 4 units. But you still satisfy 2 requirements. Moving on, you're also requiring a freshman seminar, or it's called a GE freshman seminar. So GESM, okay, is how it will be identified in the scheduled classes. You'll also notice that this also satisfies 1 of your letters. And you can see how it's attached. So if I complete a GESM 140 or 141, again, I only have to complete 1 of these in my entire time here. In fact, you're going to complete it in the first semester, your fall semester. If I complete GES and 140 or 141 in the fall, I have essentially satisfied GED done. I don't ever have to go back and do another GED. That's just one example.
Okay.
Now, I will share with you that your GEA option, the arts, that is a course that is satisfied with a course that all of you are required in your program. That's Theater 225. So you'll never have to, you don't ever have to look at GSEM 110 or 111, which satisfies A. You won't have to, because you're already going to satisfy GEA with a course in your program, guaranteed. So we're going to advise when you look at these, look from letters B through F. Now, if you're a BA student, which most of you are, most of you that have logged on are, but if you are a BA student in the dramatic arts, you must complete a foreign language requirement. We want to complete this by the end of your sophomore year, which is by the end of completing 64 units. There's 3 ways of reaching this third level proficiency. Okay, the first would be to complete 3 levels in 1 course. So you pick a language, Portuguese, do levels 1, 2, and 3. Each level is 1 semester, so you could do fall, spring, fall, and you'd be done. Okay. Let's say you have a history in a language. You could take a placement exam when you arrive here, and then you would place it to level, let's say level 3. It would say, okay, now you have to take level 3 in that level, in that course. Take the level 3 in the fall, you'd be done. Okay? And the final way to complete this and to reach that third level, or to demonstrate that third level proficiency, would be to complete complete an AP exam in either a foreign language, lit or culture course and exam, earning a score of 4 or 5. So some of you may have done French, AP French, or AP Spanish. If you've earned a 4 or 5, have those scores sent over to the university. That essentially satisfies your foreign language requirement. Okay, now here are your writing requirements and a transfer policy. All of you must take a writing 150, which is your first level, and then you'll take an advanced writing 340. Your first level writing 150 will be in the spring of your freshman year. Okay, that'll be one of your core requirements outside of theater. And then in the future, right around your end of your junior, possibly your senior year, you'll take a writing 340, but that's up to you. That's flexible. You can move that around a little bit. Okay, those 2 courses are required. Now, in the future, as you transfer items into the university, if it's anything that you've taken already or are currently taking prior to arriving to USC, you can certainly transfer that in, no problem. Just make sure your transcripts get to the university. Okay. And yeah, once you arrive here, you must complete everything here. Now, there is an exception. Let's say you decide, okay, I'm going to take level 1 Spanish in the fall, 2 Spanish in the level 2 Spanish in the spring. I want to take the 3rd level, but I want to go ahead and do it back home. I'm back in Atlanta, and there's a school that offers a campus that offers level 3 Spanish, and I'm going to get that equivalency and transfer back to USC. You can certainly do that. There's a way of requesting approval for that, and you can certainly transfer the foreign language element in, but that's one of the few things that you can transfer in after you've arrived. Once you arrive at USC, you must complete all of your GEs here at USC. Now, we'll focus briefly on our 2 main programs, BA in Dramatic Arts, which most of you are in. Some students are in the BFA Dramatic Arts. It could be in one of the BFA programs. Now, briefly, you'll see 2 emphasis programs, both acting and design. I want you to kind of keep in mind that from the BA to the emphasis program, it's the acting emphasis, it's a jump of 13 units. You should certainly consider it if you wanted to do an an emphasis program. The emphasis program is just kind of the middle ground, and the next slide will show it's the middle ground between the BFA and the BA. Essentially, it allows the flexibility of the BA in case you wanted to maybe add a minor or potentially study abroad, but it has some of the structure of a BFA. Okay, so if that's something you're thinking about, definitely let's share that with your advisor. Okay, keep in mind the 2 core theater courses that you'll be taking in the fall are the exact same courses that you would be required to take in either of the emphasis programs. Okay, so you don't have to decide if you're going to switch the emphasis right away. Just know that those 2 courses that you have in your BA in Dramatic Arts are the same ones for the BA emphasis programs as well. Okay, just have that conversation with your advisor in the fall about whether or not you want to switch. Here's a quick look at those particular programs. You can see the unit values and essentially what the focus is in both of those programs. Now, pop quiz. What's a special GE course that you must complete as a freshman in that first semester?
Seminar?
Seminar.
Writing.
Yeah, some.
Yeah,
Seminar.
GE seminar. Very good. Would be the GE seminar. Another one. GE category blank is fulfilled with Theater 225. Oh, sorry, I didn't share this earlier. So Theater 225. Let's see if you can remember what category it satisfies. What letter?
A.
A.
Hey, very good, very good. It was on the briefing. I didn't highlight it. I was saying a Theater 225 is going to be a core theater requirement. It does satisfy A, so keep that in mind when you're looking at your test for GE core literacies. Now, information. Now, a lot of this information that you have, what am I supposed to satisfy? How many units am I enrolling in? What do I need? All of this can be found in OASIS, okay? So your requirements, both your GE requirements and your program requirements can be found in OASIS. Now, the OASIS is an online academic student information system. You'll find a lot of these bullet points are in there, okay? The STARS report is one where you're going to find all of those courses that you're seeking to complete because it has the different areas. For language, your GEs A through F, your writing requirements, all of those are listed there, as well as your theater programs. If you add a minor, it'll list that as well. Okay. We as advisors have a version of that we look at before we meet with you to make sure that you're completing all the requirements as you're supposed to per semester. Now, OASIS for guests. Now, there's a guest access tool there. There's an option there. So oftentimes advisors will get calls from parents. They'll say, oh, I'm looking to inquire about my students' grades. The student usually brings in C's. C's are better, but she brought in a D. I'm curious what happened. We cannot have that conversation with a family member unless the student has granted access. So definitely review the online access granting tool so that you can make sure to provide access to those people who you wish to provide. Depending on your family, someone might want to have some access, and that's a conversation you have with them. Okay. Tuition refund. This is some other information that we'll give to you, and this is something that will populate when you log into web registration. If you haven't already tried to log into your WebReg and your MyUSC, I would encourage it. You will need to have that access available by the time August 14th comes when you're going to register. But one of the requirements is to determine whether or not you want to accept or decline tuition refund insurance. Tuition refund insurance essentially it's just that. It's insurance on your investment, your academic investment. And that the funding that you put into schooling, it's a way to cover that. In the event that you suffer an injury or an illness that is documented. This could occur week 1, week 6, week 12. It would cover you. And again, it's like insurance. If you have an injury that takes you away from school, you can submit a claim and retain up to 100% of your tuition and fees. So definitely have a conversation with your family about this. This could be something that you could opt out or stay or remain in your system. It's up to you have up until week 3 to decide whether or not you want to keep it or if you want to decline it. Sometimes parents have certain insurance available to them, so you want to talk to your family. Okay, transfer coursework. If you have transfer items to submit to the university, you want to get that in ASAP. So if you've already gone through a College Board, go ahead and submit that. If you have not submitted through College Board, go ahead and submit it. Make sure that you get all your scores in. Keep in mind, anything of a score 4 or higher will earn units or credits. At the very least, elective units, which applies to your overall unit value. In some cases, they will satisfy specific requirements. such as some of your core literacies. So definitely get those in so the university can evaluate them. So do that by the end of the first semester. If you haven't gotten them in by the first few weeks, let us know. We'll have a chat with you. We'll try to help you out with that as well. This goes for IB as well. So if anybody, depending on the system that you came from, if you have those units, we'll go to the next slide. You'll see how those units transfer. With AP exams, a score of 4 or 5, as I mentioned earlier, will earn you 4 units or 4 credits that will apply. If it doesn't apply to a specific requirement, such as a bio or a US history or something like that, it would apply towards just general elective units. But again, some APs do satisfy specific requirements, okay? So something to think about. All right, so if anybody's completed within the IB system, if you've earned a 6, if you've earned a score of 5 or higher on a higher level class, you earn 6 elective units. Or if you've earned the diploma, the IB diploma of a score of 30 or higher, you would earn a total of 20 units. So those would apply towards your credit or towards your overall total, and they basically be in your back pocket. Keep in mind that any units that you've accrued, whether it's through AP or transfer or IB, they basically allow you to typically register a little sooner than your classmates, so it's helpful. But if you came in with 0 units, you're fine. You'd be fine. But it's definitely take advantage of anything that you've already completed, send it into the university. Now, support systems. Now, here at the university, as we said before, Isaac and I are the 2 key components to your department. We're the only assigned advisors, so we're your go-to people. We'd like to think that we're your first line of defense. So you're here, you have questions, you have concerns, definitely reach out to us. We'd love to help you out. And that starts with the Academic and Student Services office here in the SDA, or the School of Dramatic Arts. We have other offices here as well, the dean, assistant dean, vice dean, directors. So if there's any support that you need, call boards, any information that you might need from us or the university, let us know. We'll try to help you out. Okay. In addition to that, we have the USC Academic Support Network. This network is found mainly in Student Union, but there you can find tutoring services, time management, organizational skills, coaching, academic coaching. If you have some writing support that you need, not just tutoring, but you have to need someone to edit your paper, help you with the structure. That is all found here on campus as well. So utilize those services; they're available to you, and know that they're there, whether it's at the beginning of the semester or towards the end of the semester. I would encourage you to try to address those earlier if it's not working with your faculty, your TA, and all the other resources, so that you don't get too far behind. Should you feel like you're struggling a little bit. Keep in mind it's a transition, right? You're coming from a different system, so you're coming to the university. It's a different place. Maybe it's not close to home. New people, new strategies. So it may take a little bit to transition. So definitely know that you have some resources available to you. Engelman Student Health Center. Your fees pay for your healthcare, essentially. So it's on campus. It's a fairly brand new building here on campus, facility. They have everything from medical services, dental services, as well as counseling services. So if you need a little extra help and transition is not going so well for you, you had a struggle with a relationship, or you're feeling down because of the distance from home, any of those things are real. They exist. Definitely use the Engelman Student Health Center for additional support if you feel like your department is there for you, but they're not surprised. You need more than that. Go ahead and seek out support at the Engelman Student Health Center. Okay. Student Affairs. Student Affairs deals with a lot here on campus. They do deal with judicial issues as well, but they also deal with leadership opportunities, career affairs, job fairs, organizational affairs where people can kind of join programs and organizations here on campus. So they definitely have a lot of different programs available to students who are wanting to get involved, both here on campus and off campus. Student orgs, there is a Greek life here, but that's not the only thing here. We have plenty of clubs, organizations, cultural centers. So if you're interested in any of that, definitely plenty to get involved with. One, too many. It's entirely up to you. So take advantage of it.
Oh, I think we have the for-print version. That's what looks weird.
Yeah. Okay. So really quick, who has access to your academic record?
You do, but you can give your parents permission.
Yeah. So we do. We have a version of that. And then you also, depending on who you assign, right? It could be grandmom. It doesn't have to be mom or dad. It's entirely up to you. You have that conversation. And the reason, again, is so that we don't have that awkward conversation on the phone with a parent that says, oh, I'd like to talk about the record, but if you don't provide them access, we can't have that conversation. Keep in mind the conversations are strictly about academics, okay? So oftentimes students will come in and have other conversations with us in our offices, but we really try to focus it around classes or grades or that kind of thing, okay? Just so you know. I'm going to pass this on to Isaac because he's our Act 2 specialist.
Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about the School Dramatic Arts. I'll talk about the SDA Student Portal, how to start building relationships with our SDA faculty members, how to get involved and audition for some of our SDA productions. I'll talk about the new 8 initiatives set forth by Dean David Bridell, as well as the expectations of all of our students. So this is a screenshot of our SDA student portal. It's sdastudents.usc.edu. I recommend writing this down, remembering it, bookmark it, save it. You will be using this a lot during your time here at USC. Essentially, what we've done is we've created a one-stop shop website for a lot of information, announcements, notes, tips, tricks. You can find a lot of information online here. There's information about our specific office and programs, services, tips on advising and registration, as well as copies of all the orientation materials that we hand out, as well as certain forms that you may need for petitions. Here at USC, each department has the ability to reserve, or what we call department clear, or declear for short, certain classes. So what that means is that the department has the ability to control enrollment in the course. In order to register for a declearance course, you would need to contact the department directly. If you need clearance for a theater declearance course, we actually have an online form that you can fill out on the SDA student portal. Okay, so just know that if you need declearance, typically you would fill out an online form here. As incoming freshmen, we have already cleared you for your required theater courses, and you'll be getting that a little later. We also have quick links to USC resources, links to the great audition memo, which I'll talk about in a bit, as well as a growing page on scholarships, SDA awards, USC scholarships, and professional scholarships, information on professional development items such as internships, external job and casting offers, as well as course promotions. So if we're trying to promote one of our courses or another department reaches out to Daniel and myself and say, hey guys, I think your theater students might like our course, we'll put it online here as well. So that's the SDA Student Portal. Remember it, you'll be using it quite a lot during your time here. We definitely encourage all of our students to meet and work with our faculty members. As you may know, a lot of them are working professionals, so they'll come here and teach, and then they'll go to their theater or casting agency or show, whatever they're working on at that moment. As you may know, for every course you will receive a syllabus, right? And listed on that syllabus will be their office hours, which is when they're available outside of class. We definitely recommend that you use these office hours at least twice every semester, once maybe at the beginning of the semester to introduce yourself, and the second time after a major midterm or paper, just to make sure that you're on track. If you have any questions at all about the courses, please reach out to them. They're definitely there to help. Let's say you get a prompt, you don't really understand, use your TAs, use your instructors, and that goes for all faculty members, not just SDA. As I mentioned earlier, the Great Audition Memo is released at the beginning of each semester, and it lists all of our SDA main stage shows as well as information on auditions. Now, as incoming freshmen, there are some audition restrictions. You're not allowed to audition for a main stage show until your second semester. The reason we do this is that we want our incoming freshman students to get adjusted to life on campus, life away from home, get adjusted to classes at USC before committing yourself to such a large commitment like a main stage show. Now, let's say you audition in the spring and you are cast. If you are cast in any of the main stage shows, you must register for Theater 397. It's a 2-unit upper division theater course that will fulfill requirements for your theater major. Okay, so it's a great way to get letter grade and credit for your participation in an SDA show. Now, as freshmen, you are eligible, though, to audition for independent student productions, or ISPs for short. Those are student-funded, student-run, and separate from the main stage shows. The ISP shows do not carry any credit since they're not associated with the school, but it's a great way to get involved with our student body in various capacities. Just like the SDA main stage shows, the ISP also has an audition memo that gets sent out at the beginning of the semester. So if you're looking to get involved with the show in your first semester, that's what you would look into. Now, if you want to just watch some of our main stage shows, all of our SDA students are eligible for Rush tickets, but you do need a Rush sticker on your USC ID. We will be handing out these Rush stickers at the all-school meeting at the beginning of the semester, or, excuse me, if you can't make that meeting, they will be available in the DRC front office, or DRC 104. You must place them on your USC ID, but it's a great way to watch some of our main stage shows for free. So you can support our other students and check out what we're doing as a school. I do want to talk a little bit about the 8 new SDA initiatives created by Dean Bridell. The first 2 are probably, I think, the most exciting. First one is New Media at SDA. It's a series of new programs and workshops integrating new media and technology into our acting training here at the School of Dramatic Arts. So you'll notice during your time here, newer classes, newer workshops, newer sessions, integrating new media. Probably our most frequent event is the Spotlight at SDA. It's a series of events and workshops with some pretty high-profile individuals and professionals. Oftentimes they come here to share their advice, their experience. They usually offer like a guided discussion with one of our faculty members that's moderated by them, and usually ends with a Q&A session. So keep an eye out for these. The next 2 initiatives are Careers at SDA and Talkback. Careers, the main event for Careers is Career Month, which occurs in April. It's a series of sessions and workshops that occur pretty much every day in April, which do require some reservation beforehand. And then also included in that is the Going Pro Career Fair, which occurs on a Saturday in April, which is an event in collaboration with our school, UCLA, and the Center Theater Group, which is, if you're familiar with the area, one of the bigger theater companies here. And it's held in the offices in Center Theater Group in downtown Los Angeles, and it's an all-day session, workshops, networking events. And we also have internship opportunities through our department, so if that's something you want to look into, you do need to be sophomore level or higher to be eligible. Definitely let us know if you're interested in that. We can put you in contact with our Director of Internships, Megan Montlet. Talkback at SDA occurs every Saturday after the matinee performance, and it's kind of an open forum where our guests talk about themes and topics about the show. Live Read at SDA, another exciting initiative where we actually bring a professional team that's trying to workshop a musical onto campus, and they cast our students, our managers, our designers. They rehearse the show on campus, and they actually perform it at the end of the semester. This past year, we had a live read in each of the fall and spring semesters. We're throwing out the idea of maybe adding one in the summer if there's enough interest as well. Salon at SDA, it's a special seminar series for graduating seniors and graduating MFA students. Kind of a smaller workshop and seminar feel that occurs weekly. Postplay at SDA, very related to Talkback. Usually postplay, we try to bring someone onto campus that was related to one of our main stage shows. It's very, very special opportunity sometimes. We were lucky enough to bring one of the writers for one of our main stage plays onto campus last semester. But this occurs the Monday after the show. And then podcasts at SDA. It's a monthly podcast produced and written and recorded here on campus on the School of Dramatic Arts, and it's hosted by our dean, David Brydell. This past year, the focus was on our main stage shows. Not sure what the focus is this year, but if you're thinking about getting into podcasts, it's definitely a good one to start with. And finally, our expectations of our SDA students. We expect all of our students to play an active role in your education. All of you are now college students, or will be once we get you registered on Monday, or next Monday. If you have any questions at all, please let us know. As Daniel mentioned, we feel we're your first line of defense here at SDA. We're really your only assigned contact, so please, if you have any questions, reach out. I'll definitely put you in contact with someone who can help if we can't assist. All USC students, and especially our SDA students, should uphold the academic integrity and USC Code of Conduct. If you want to look at the policy, the link is there. But UC does take any breaches of plagiarism or cheating very seriously. There's a whole judicial wing of student affairs that takes care of any complaints or issues of those sorts. And it's going to be very important for you to pay close attention to web registration, the information on OASIS, because it can be a little confusing and tough. If you can check and manage your UC email account regularly, that's also very important, because any announcements or emails from the school, from the university, from the advisors will be sent directly to your UC email account. I know it's linked to your Gmail. It may seem like you have tons of space, but if it is full, you won't be getting those important emails. And be informed. We have a bunch of bulletin boards here in the DRC, and we're here, and we do have an open door policy. So if you want to check out some of the information on the boards or say hi, we're definitely open to that. And please attend as many SDA events as possible. As I mentioned, the initiative events are probably the most frequent and prominent ones. If we continue to see a large turnout to our events, it gives us more reason to continue with our programming here. The first two welcome events for you is going to be the New Student Ice Cream Social, which we are now calling the SDA Scoop, with a capital S&C. And that's going to be Thursday of Welcome Week at 2. Okay, we're going to meet at the Big Theater, and this is for all new incoming freshmen and transfer students. From there, we're actually going to walk over to the USC Village for the grand opening, so super excited for that. And then during the first week of school, on Tuesday, August 22nd, we will have our all-school meeting. All SDA students are expected to attend. We will have most staff and some faculty members in attendance as well. That's going to be Tuesday, August 22nd at 5, also at the Big, and we will be handing out free pizza. So as college students, you will learn that any free food is the best food. Okay, so come on by, check us out, and then we'll also be passing out the Rush stickers. And if you're looking to get involved with some of our SDA student groups, they should be there tabling as well, and we'll be available to answer any questions. All right, I know this is a tough one, and you don't have any notes, but can anyone name 4 of the SDA initiatives? This could be a group effort.
Podcast is one. I know the podcast is one of them.
Podcast is one.
Post play.
Post play.
I totally wrote this down. Live read. Okay, I'll stop. Talk back, yeah.
Talk back, yeah.
Something. Spotlight.
Spotlight. Perfect. Oh, actually, the eight of them usually pop up here, but yeah. So we covered 4 of them. The other ones are new media. I think careers. What else we guess? Sorry, I don't even know the full 8. But if you notice those logos, definitely if you see those logos around campus, around flyers, you know that's our events. Okay, so you could disregard the day thing, but this is the PowerPoint that we use for our on-campus sessions, which are 2 days. But what we'll be going over in Act 3 is advisement. We'll talk about what the first year schedules will look like. In order to register and access web registration, you do need your USC Net ID and password. Okay, so if you can log into My USC, great. If you cannot log into My USC, please try and do that beforehand, because you'll be jumping on web registration, hopefully building your schedule before registration, which for you guys will be on August 14th. Okay, so Act 3, we'll go over what the first year schedules will look like. We'll go over the registration worksheet. I'll briefly cover the SDA GE course guide, which we created for our students. And I think maybe we'll do the web reg tutorial individually with the students when we set up our appointments next week. Okay, so BA students, which we have a bulk of our students with us today are BA students. This is what your first year schedule will typically look like. The required courses are kind of in a dark rose. The GE's writing for language are in a light pink, and then the theater minor electives, oh, sorry, this is what it'll look like. And the optional electives here are in a light white. So in the first semester, you will be taking Theater 101 and 125, Intro to Acting, and Tech Studies for Production. These are required core courses for the BA in Dramatic Arts program. In addition to 101 and 125, you will be taking one GE seminar course. As Daniel mentioned, we are recommending and strongly encouraging that you target a GSEM 120 or higher. So essentially anything from B through F. In addition to that, if you do need to take the foreign language course, you would take it in that block. If you've completed the foreign language requirement, whether you are classified as an international student or if you fulfilled it with an AP language exam with the 405, you would be targeting a GE core literacy course. Now, if you're counting and doing the math, that's only 16 units. So you have 2 units of optional elective for you to use in the fall. If you want to target an additional theater elective, we have some recommendations. If you want to target a 2-unit minor course or maybe a freshman seminar elective, you could do that as well. In the spring semester, all theater students will be taking GEA Theater 225, which is Theater Across History and Cultures. Again, we would strongly encourage you, in order to maximize your unit, save GEA for this course. Because we would hate for you to take another GEA course and you already have that fulfilled with 225. In addition to 225, you will be taking Theater 130, Intro to Theatrical Production. This is our crew course. So you attend the Tuesday morning lecture, and then you will be crewing one of our main stage shows in the spring. In addition to that, you have some flexibility when it comes to the theater degree. If you are interested in the acting emphasis, you must take Theater 152 Intro to Scene Study in that spring semester. If you're not planning for the acting emphasis, you could take another theater required course or theater elective. In addition to those 8 units of theater, if you still need to complete the foreign language requirement, you would take that there. If you are done with the foreign language requirement, and then you could take another GE core literacy course. In addition to that, you'll be taking Writing 150, which is the writing freshman course, Writing and Critical Reasoning, for 4 units. And then you also have 2 units of optional elective. Again, anything technically you elect to take, so it could be a minor course, could be another theater course, or another freshman seminar course, anything that you decide. Okay, so that is what the BA Dramatic Arts freshman schedule will look like for the first year. Now, all the BA incoming students are assigned to what we call learning community. So each Theater 101 and 125 sections are actually paired with a specific section. Now, after today, your advisor will email you a registration worksheet with your specific learning community. So make sure to register in your specific sections of 101 and 125. The reason we've created these learning communities, it creates a smaller cohort model within the larger BA community. So the students in your 101 classes will be the same one in 125. So it's a great way to create study groups, scene partners, and create a small social network within your courses. And you know, in some cases, what you're learning in 101 may be covered in 125 and vice versa. A note in these learning communities, these cannot be changed. So Once you've been assigned to these, you must register in these courses. You will not be able to register in any other section of 101 or 125. For the BFA actors, and I think we have a few here today, very similar. Dark red is required theater courses. Writing and GEs are in a light pink, and then optional elective in white. In the fall semester, you'll also be taking a Tech Studies for Production course, a BFA only section. And then in every semester here, you will be taking what we call the acting core, which includes one movement, one acting, and one voice course. In addition to that, in the first semester, you'll be taking the GSIM course, and in addition to that, the GE Core Literacy course, so that adds up to 18 units. In the spring, you'll be taking Theater 225, which again fulfills GEA, the acting core, which includes movement, acting, and voice, and we throw in a screen acting course, Theater 105. In addition to that, you'll be taking Writing 150, which is your only writing or GE course in the spring, and then you have room for a 2-unit optional elective of your choice. Now, as BFA students, you only need to register in 16 units for that semester, but we did want to point out you do have some room for electives if you choose to use it. I don't think we have any production students, right? No. Okay. So each of you will receive a pre-registration worksheet after today. Essentially, this will identify the required theater courses that you must register in. So what you need to do is you need to find one GSEM and one GE Core Literacy course that fits around your required theater schedule. Okay, so on each of your worksheet, it has your information, your required theater courses that we've already identified. It has a weekly at-a-glance schedule, so a Monday through Friday schedule of what your theater schedule will look like, so that you can use that to look for the different GEs. And then on the right-hand side here, we have some room for notes, so if you want to write down some options. The nice thing is that you do have quite some time before registration, and honestly, much more time than what our on-campus students have to kind of look at the schedule. Now, I do want to point out the GSIM courses are what we call lecture only. So you only have to attend and register for one section of the GSIM. With the GE Core Literacies, they're your stereotypical large lecture GE courses. They sometimes meet in sections of 100 to 300 students. And then later in the week, you also have to register for a separate discussion or lab section where you meet in smaller groups to kind of talk about what was discussed in the lecture. So if you're registering for a GE Core Literacy course, which most of you probably will, make sure that you do not forget the lab or discussion sections for the GE Core Literacy course. Okay. All right. And we will email these worksheets to you after our presentation today. Okay, so let me return to this slide. So typically, how do you find the GEs, right? So normally, in a normal semester, you would use what's called the USC schedule of classes. This is a list of all of the courses that USC is offering, and this is put out by the registrar's office every semester. It's classes.usc.edu. The schedule of classes is great because it lists all the departments, all of the times, and availability. Also, if you need declearance, you'll be able to find their contact information on here. You can also figure out your final exam schedule. So once your class schedule is finalized, you can use your final exam scheduler to figure out when your final exams are for each course. And there's some other important links and information. Now, the schedule of classes is a little limiting because there's not really a lot of information about specific courses in terms of course description. So normally, if you're looking for a GE and you wanted more information, you would use what we call the GE course guide. Now, this GE course guide is put out by the GE department every semester, and they collect longer 2 to 3 paragraph descriptions of most GE courses that we're offering. So the GE course guide is good because it gives more information about the GE courses, but it's a little limiting because it doesn't offer any information about availability, when it's offered, how many students are registered. So in a normal semester, you would have to jump between the GE course guide and the schedule of classes to figure out what GEs that you want to look for. Now, what we've done is we've created an SDA GE course guide. to kind of help with identifying some of the courses that fit with your particular schedule. So you can visit this website later on once we're done today. If you could follow the instructions online here, and we'll email you this PDF of the PowerPoint so that you have these instructions. But essentially, you can make a copy of this Google Doc that we created so that you can edit it and identify some of the courses. Now, what we've done is we've actually looked through each of the learning communities, and we've actually took out the GEs that don't fit with that particular schedule. So on the very bottom of the sheet, you'll find the different learning communities or BFA programs. So make sure that you're in the right sheet or the right tab. So what's really cool about our GE course guide is that we've identified all GE B through F and GSIM courses that fit with your schedule. It is sortable, so if you want to look at GSIMs only, you can set that up. And Daniel mentioned double dipping GEs, right? So you have the ability to take a B and G, B and H, or C and G and C and H. And we've clearly identified those for you on the course guide. And if you hover over the course title, it provides a longer course description that's from the GE course guide. So this tool has been pretty effective with helping our on-campus students, and you'll definitely have more time to go through the GE course guide. If you have any questions about the course guide, you can definitely bring this up with your advisor during your individual appointment next week. I think this is our final slide here. So we did want to give you some advising information. Normally, you can find us in the Drama Center, DRC 104. That is our main line. That's our individual emails if you need to contact us individually. As a reminder for mandatory advisement, Daniel mentioned this earlier, but you must meet with your advisor every semester. So you will not be able to register on the 14th until you have your individual appointment with your advisor next week. So make sure to schedule that as soon as possible. In the fall, freshman advisement begins in late October. So we'll email everyone probably in early October with a reminder of when to come in. And you can schedule everything on My USC. Everything's online. If you want to come in before then, we do have walk-in or same-day appointments. You can just come in and sign up for one on the day that you want to meet. During weeks 1 and 2, we have walk-in advisements every day. And then week 3 and after, walk-ins are available only every Friday. That's because that's when we start mandatory advisement. Okay. Okay, I think I do want to close with on that email that was sent out by Daniel earlier this week. It has a reminder to call our main office to schedule your individual appointments for next week. So during that meeting, we'll be discussing the individual registration worksheets that we'll try and email out to everyone today, as well as answer any individual questions about AP exams, previous coursework, or if you have any questions about web registration and how to do that. I think as part of the orientation homework, all of our students were required to do the web registration tutorial. If I could ask all of our students, if you haven't already completed that, to try and complete that before you schedule your appointment with your advisor so that you're somewhat familiar with the web registration system. But now, I think, Daniel, we can take some time for some questions.
Sure. Questions, anyone?
I was wondering, so if you're planning on taking the foreign language placement exam at Welcome Week, and you've already registered for classes, would you just start your foreign language requirements in the spring semester?
You want to take that one, Dan?
Yeah, no, not necessarily. So I think if I heard you correctly or clearly, if you took the placement exam during Welcome Week,
yeah,
you actually would get the results fairly quickly. In fact, we would have them available to us. So if you stopped by during Welcome Week or emailed us, we could certainly give you the score and let you know, hey, you've placed into level 3 or what have you in that language. Why don't you go ahead and make those changes to your schedule?
Okay.
If you need some help with that, let us know. We'll walk you through that as well. So you would basically replace, if that were the situation, you would take your GE out of the way and bring in your foreign language. So therefore, along with your theater courses, you would have your foreign language and your GSTEM, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And that was a good question too, because I would encourage students to, and I would think, as I would say the same thing, we encourage students to add your foreign language sooner rather than later. So if you place into a higher level, just satisfy that now, get it out of the way. You don't want that to be, to hold you back in the future, because the university will put holds on your accounts and limit your access to registration if you have not completed that requirement.
Yeah, and I think that's, if I can jump on that,
yeah, go for it.
The system will not allow you to register for a foreign language if you haven't taken the placement exam. So you must take the placement exam if you want to continue with any language. Now, if you wanted to, let's say, start from level 1, and you've never taken that language before, then you would have to email or call that department directly for clearance for that course.
Okay.
Definitely, if you're looking to start at level 1, bring that up with your advisor during the individual appointments next week. Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, I have a language-related one. So I'm fluent in Turkish, and I've taken a test for it to see where I am with like what level I'm at, and they said I'm at like business. But is Turkish one of the languages that count as a credit? Because I think it was like French, Spanish, and Italian, and Portuguese. I'm not sure if Turkish counts.
I don't think Turkish is one of our languages that we offer, but through the Language Center, you can schedule what we call competency exam, and they'll actually bring an expert in, and then they'll assess your level. And definitely it is, right? Okay. We can definitely talk about that during your individual appointment next week, and I can give you their contact information, and I can help you.
Excuse me.
Okay. Did that kind of answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? I know it was a lot of info.
If a person was like to double major or to like minor in like creative writing and still like fulfill their GE requirements and like theater requirements, how would they do that? Because you can only take like 18 credit hours or 20.
That's true. That's true. So it really depends on how many units you've brought in and your situation. But in your first appointment with your advisor in the fall, you'll actually create a 4-year course plan. So we'll block everything out, all 8 semesters, and we'll try and what I call our scheduling Tetris game. We'll try and fit in all the blocks. We'll fit in the majors, the GE, the writing, and your second major or minor requirements. And then at that point, we can kind of have a good idea of, do you have enough space to finish everything?
Yeah.
But next week, when you meet with your advisor, you can actually let them know what program that you're interested in, and then they can actually refer you over to those departments so that you can follow up with them to see what the application requirement is like, what it's and what the requirements are like for the major. You mentioned creative writing. A second major that pairs very well with our program is the narrative studies program. It actually doesn't require a lot of units. It's only 36, but it just so happens that of those 36, 12 of them can be theater courses. So really, all you need is 24 additional units, and you could graduate potentially with a second major in narrative studies. A lot of our students who are interested in writing typically double major in that. Yeah. Any other questions?
This is just another follow-up on the double major, because I'm interested in that too. So you should also just get in contact with the other department that you're interested in a double major in, so you can work out a schedule.
Well, yes. So when you meet with your advisor next week, they'll actually send you a referral info with that department's contact information, so you can maybe reach out to them, let them know that you're interested in the program. Do you have any recommended courses, anything that's 2 units that you could potentially take in the fall?
Yeah.
And you can try and target that in your fall schedule. Now, you know, sometimes 2 units isn't enough space, and sometimes some courses are 4 units. That's okay. We can definitely try and plan for that in a future semester.
Okay.
What program are you considering, Sophia?
I think political science.
Poli-sci? Okay, so typically some of the poli-sci courses are 4 units. Now, what you could do with your GE Core Literacy course, though, is I think there are some poli-sci GEs that could fulfill a minor or a second major, so that might be something to look into.
And that works like to double dip something as like a major requirement and a GE, right?
Yeah, so that's definitely possible with a lot of the Dornsife major or programs, because most of the GEs are Dornsife courses. You know, it's a possibility that some of those might actually be a minor or a second major course as well, but it depends on the program. Depends on the program. So definitely talk to that advisor for confirmation.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other questions? No? No? Everyone's good? Thumbs up? Okay, perfect. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop the broadcast.